Internet slang sayings are something literally everybody knows. But it wasn't that long ago that they didn't exist at all. Human language made a giant shift with the invention of the internet, but if you thought this was as deep as things would ever go, you'd be dead wrong. Virtual reality is a blossoming technology, and VRChat in particular is the #1 social VR app for bringing people together from all over the world, leaving computer screens behind for true immersion. Transitioning into social VR for the first time is extremely confusing, like being thrown into a foreign country, but thankfully I compiled a list of pretty much every common term you could possibly hear VR chatters saying to make that transition easier. So here's my speed run of 75 VR chat terms that you need to know. Like most of us, I basically live online nowadays, and what browser you use to surf the web is arguably the most important part of that experience. Today's video sponsors Opera GX, and one of the many reasons I've swapped over to Opera is because of how fluently it actually works for VR users. I always like to have access to the web while in VR, but the tediousness of trying to navigate with controllers can be a real pain. By using the Steam VR Home or an application like VR Toolkit, I can open Opera directly in VR and use the sidebar to open the likes of Discord, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch in a super quick and easy way that saves time and energy, so I'm never out of the loop on anything. In the GX player, I can control Spotify and Apple or YouTube Music if you use those, to switch tunes while exploring worlds with the least amount of effort possible. It also knows to pause whenever you start up something like a video and resumes it afterwards, which is a really thoughtful detail that I'm in love with. I've also had trouble with Chrome taking up too much CPU usage in VR before, which is a common problem, so Opera lets you use GX Control to put limiters on your CPU and RAM that will reduce lag. The fact you can put limits on this, including network bandwidth as well, means that whether you're just browsing or something like streaming to Twitch, you can maximize the performance of your entire experience easily. You can download Opera for completely free using the link at the top of the description and import everything from cache, logins, and bookmarks in seconds, so go check it out for yourself. Anyways, back to the video. Starting at #1, we have AVI, the shortened term that people use for avatar. FBT, or full body tracking, is using real-life trackers to match you and your avatar's feet and waist locations together. IK is the abbreviation for inverse kinematics, which is the math process that actually calculates the motion for your trackers to move to your correct position. The saying, "I just got legs," or "I just got feet," is the phrase for you saying that you finally spent your life savings on full body tracking. 11-point tracking is the term for when you went even crazier than that by adding up the total tracking points between your head, hands, feet, waist, chest, elbows, and knees all together. Rippers. Rippers are the people who steal avatars from VRChat. Yes, everyone hates them, including me. It's pretty bad and definitely a problem. I'm on Blue, or Blinks on Blue, the social status option where anyone on your friends list can join you and where you're hanging out. Everybody Switch to Orange is another social status that you'll get asked to use during events so that random people can't just join off you. Booth models. VRChat models that you can buy and upload from the Japanese website Booth. Gumroad is the other hugely popular site that people buy models from. LPD, the Lolly Police Department. It's a group of players who use versions of this specific avatar to police other members, but it's all RP, so they can't really actually do much. Phantom Sense. It's a phenomena where people in VR feel a physical sensation based off of visual stimulation alone, such as touch, smell, pain, or temperature. Nuisance Rank. VRChat's untold trust rank that gets assigned to players who are blocked, kicked, or muted too many times. That way everybody knows to not interact with them. Let's take a shot. VR chatters say to take a shot when they're drinking, but it always just means they're taking sips. Place-based dragging is the method of moving your avatar around in VR like this, using an application called OVR Advanced Settings that intertwines with Steam VR. Squeakers. Annoying kids. Questies. Anyone who uses the standalone version of VRChat, the version that heavily waters down the content that people upload because of performance reasons of being mobile hardware. People sometimes say Questie as a loose term for kids as well. Sorry, Questies. Quest compatibility. Avatars or worlds that are optimized enough to work on the standalone version of Quest. PC only. This is the opposite type of content that's not available to Quest users. Headpatting. The phenomena of everyone patting each other's heads. I don't know why, it just kind of feels natural in VR. Desktop crouch. It's a funny position that avatars make whenever you're using the desktop version of VRChat and you don't have a VR headset. Portal is what's said to get everyone into a portal to change worlds before the 30-second timer runs out on one. Fingies is the word for fingers whenever somebody finally gets hand tracking with Valve Index Knuckles controllers. World hopping is spending a session of VRChat with the intention of changing worlds rather than just settling down in one spot. Audiolink. This is a feature that people can add to their worlds and avatars that actually changes the lighting based off of the music playing, kind of like a visualizer. Blender, the main 3D modeling program that people use to make any type of model. Unity, the game engine that actually runs VRChat, which people can download to create and upload content to the game. Shaders, these are the visual effects that are actually shown on your avatar. They can be pretty cool. Dynamic bones, the now outdated system for making parts of your avatar move that you used to be able to buy for $20, but lots of avatars still do use them. Physbones are the new VRChat version of dynamic bones, which are way more optimized and physically reactive in game. Avatar dynamics are the parts of people's avatars that you can interact with, such as props or ears and clothes and other stuff. Jiggle Physics. This. Mirror dwellers. Someone who spends their time in VRChat always hanging out in front of a mirror, a lot of times spending half their wallets on full body tracking just for this. Cuddle Puddles. It's a group of mirror dwellers pretending to cuddle in a puddle. Mutes. Players who choose not to speak or can't speak will communicate through other methods like body language, VR ASL, chat boxes, or text-to-speech. Brush, this meme guy. Forb, this floofball. Kanchan, this tiny lolly. Rex, this furry. Protogen, this cyber furry. Vroid, an avatar made with Vroid Studio that you can customize however you want for free that I used for mine and used to make a ton of tutorials for. Tries, aka polys. It's the amount of triangles and polygons that actually make up game models, which is usually mentioned in reference to how optimized something is. EAC, or Easy Anti-Cheat, is the anti-cheat software usually used in FPS games to prevent users from using clients. But VRChat added it to prevent modding to the game, causing an extreme controversy from players back in July 2022. Ugandan Knuckles. It's the meme that kickstarted VRChat's popularity. RP. Role-playing. RP Worlds. Worlds dedicated to role-playing. And ERP. Erotic role-playing, where you definitely just hold hands and nothing more than that, of course. NSFW toggles. Definitely not TOS avatar features that you can toggle on and off, usually for ERP. VRCDN, a paid super low latency streaming network that people use for things like music events so that the music actually lines up as quick as possible with the live DJ. Crashers, people who specifically use avatars that will overwork your computer until you either crash out of the game or just black screen your entire PC. Gang monkeys are the most well-known group of crashers who get their name from originally using monkey avatars to crash people with. Visemes are the mouth movements that avatars use to match your voice. Blend shapes are the states of being on avatars that are usually used for facial expressions and animations. Think of smiling blend shapes or open eye blend shapes, switching between each other. OSC, or Open Sound Control, is using outside software signals to create reactions in-game. Face tracking, using hardware that gives you the ability to animate your avatar's facial expressions with your own, which is currently supported by using OSC. Go touch grass. This is what you say to VRChat degens who need to go outside. Porting, it's taking environments or models not made for VRChat and then making them work in game. Udon, VRChat's custom programming language used in the Unity game engine. Particle worlds, they are worlds that have crazy animations by rendering tiny objects together for super cool visual effects, but they also can be thrown onto avatars alongside shaders. Tupper, VRChat's community manager that everybody seems to personally know, and if there's ever any issues in VRChat of any kind, they'll probably say, "Yeah, I already talked to Tupper about it." Snowflakes. This is the emote that people use to convey positive or deep emotion, usually during music sets or other performances. Privates. Instances that you can't just join without requesting someone who's already in it. Mind if I clone you? The question that people ask when they want to use the avatar that you're in. CVR and Neos are the two most popular alternative platforms from VRChat, CVR being Chill Out VR. E-boys and e-girls, the stereotype of people who use flashy and provocative avatars because they think it makes them look cooler. The VRChat beta. Before adding in new features, VRChat likes to do open beta tests that anyone can turn on to join for helping test new features or finding bugs. There's usually one going on all the time. Cross reality. Events where real-life attendees and VR attendees can interact with each other across realities. Avatar colors. Saying, "Hey guys, can you change out of red avatars?" means that they're using an avatar with with a bad performance rating that is shown as being red. Green obviously means you have good performance, while an avatar being ranked yellow, or sometimes said orange, is more in the middle. Fallbacks. These are the avatars that Quest users see when the one you're currently wearing isn't Quest compatible. VRM and FBX. These are the file formats that people use for VR and VTubing models. Kit bashing. This is when people combine different parts of multiple avatars to make something of their own. TDA. They were the most popular MMD model creator from before VRChat was even made, whose avatars are often ripped and then kit bashed for their own use. TDA models, or TDA bases as they're usually called, are typically used against the creator's stated copyright terms, so they're pretty frowned upon to use in the VRChat community. Default abbeys. When you first join the VRChat homeworld or scroll down in your avatar menu, they're well-known, super optimized avatars that VRChat just gives to you. Metaverse. The coolest word ever that was mutilated by Mark Zuckerberg in relation to virtual reality. And finally, TVRS, the virtual reality show. Yeah, it's literally just this channel's name. Whew, and there you have it, all 75. If there's anything I missed or anything that surprised you, then comment down below. Give me a like for the algorithm and subscribe to this channel for more content just like this. Please consider joining my Patreon to support this channel, and of course, thanks for watching. I've been your host, PHIA, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye! Special thanks to my January Patreons and virtual VIPs: Black Amethyst, Clarity, Connor Terrell, Dutchman 101, GS Genesis, Izuna Moon, James Bonds Cool, Jean-Felix Monin, Kaimis, Kaze Rio, MJR 117, NNN, Neoplasm Nasarate, Nair, Penny, Rai 6003333, Snake 8 Head, Cerna, Third Eye, and Solly.